3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So the support that is needed, and once again, the support your energy will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning. It's Inside Nigeria for Thursday morning, January 6, 2022. And of course, my name is Body. With me in the studio this morning is a public affairs analyst and a politician as well, Mr. Larry Olayinka. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome to Inside Nigeria. Thank you. Yes. We are appearing on this show for the first time in 2022. All right, viewers, as usual, we'll be dissecting leading stories of some national dailies, and as well come back and do some discussions of issues in the polity. Well, as usual, we're starting with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. On the front page of Leadership this morning, it's clear APC won't hold convention in February. It's clear APC won't hold convention in February. Windows closed as National Assembly as notification time to INEC elapsed Friday. Party leadership yet to ratify membership register. Reconciliation process still ongoing. Stakeholders caution against stampeding party into convention. And of course, the last rider to the story is saying security report favors consensus candidacy. That's on the front page of Leadership this morning. Then we go to our sister publication, The National Economy. And of course, on the front page of The National Economy this morning, administrative procedures slow, AFC FTA takeoff 1 year after. Administrative procedures slow, African Continental Free Trade Agreement takeoff 1 year after. That is on the front page of The National Economy. All right, we have The Punch as the third newspaper on our menu this morning. And of course, on the front page of The Punch, PDP orders kick as Buhari dismisses state police, insists on grazing routes. PDP orders kick as Buhari dismisses state police, insists on grazing routes. Opposition party Afenifere carpet president for saying state police not an option. Ohaneze Ndigo plans meeting. President dismissing plea for Nnamdi Kanu's release. We have to go back to grazing routes to address farmers' herders' clashes, according to President Muhammadu Buhari. Well, that's on the front page of The Punch this morning. And of course, the last newspaper on our menu this morning is the Nigerian Tribune. On the front page of Nigerian Tribune, federal government formally declares bandits as terrorists. Federal government formally declares bandits as terrorists. Well, I don't know whether to say it's belated or it's coming at the right time. But Mr. Olayinka, let me go back to the front page of Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. That does not concern you, I know, but let me ask you your view. Why is it difficult for APC, the ruling party, to hold a regular convention?
Well, you know how APC was formed. It was associated, it was bringing together of different political bedfellows, and the only agenda in 2014 was to grab power. That was the only agenda. So they were able to grab power. After grabbing power, what have they been? Because it was not a political party. It was like just bring people from anywhere, those who never agreed before, those who were never political associates before. So that is why they are finding the only thing holding APC as of today is the presidency, is the power that they are holding. Remove that presidency from APC, that's the end of that party. And they know. That is why it has been difficult for them to sit together and have a convention. Because they know what they now. The president tenure is getting close to an end. So various interests are now like, to your tent, O Israel. These people took it that time. It is also our turn. No, we will not agree. It will not be your turn. That is the issue. And the moment they come together for that convention, they know that that convention will either make or mar. But most like it is most certainly mar the party, and that is why they are afraid of it.
But there must be a convention at the end of the day.
You see, the If not, you see, how can somebody who is a governor at the same time be chairman of a political party? How can you empower?
There is no law against that.
How can you? As a governor, you are not
concerned.
You are not morally. How can you be governor and also be chairman of a political party? Legally, you cannot be governor and still hold another office. It is illegal. Then how did that convention? It is a convention committee. They said it's convention committee. So when are they holding the convention? You set up a committee to cook food. The committee has refused to cook food for more than 1 year.
Well, I think the arguments that, well, some are saying let's hold the convention as planned in February next month. While some are saying no, don't hold the convention. Take it, forward and let's do it together with presidential primaries. I don't know the wisdom behind that.
The people who are against their convention, because all the next months are people who believe that control of the party is likely to slip off their hands. That is, they are afraid. So because they know that the only reason they are still controlling the party is because they are the one controlling political, they are controlling power. So they are afraid of bringing the party people together to take decisions about the party. It is there, but most importantly, it also boils down to the inability of the APC to govern the country well. A party that cannot govern itself properly cannot govern a country better. You can see when somebody cannot resolve issues in his family, how would that person be able to resolve issues
at the community level? All right, thank you for that, Mr. Olayinka. Let me take you to another story on the front page of Leadership this morning. I know you must have watched the president's exclusive interview.
I didn't listen to it.
But you have seen the newspaper reports this morning.
I didn't listen to it.
Below the picture, the front page picture on the front page of Leadership, there is a story about the president there saying he will not actually reveal his anointed successor. He will not reveal his anointed successor. I will keep my successor a secret. President Muhammadu Buhari. No, before you say anything, let me even ask you, is this not suggesting that the president has somebody he wants to hand over to, and does this not suggest he will ensure that the person will at all costs? Is this supposed to be
as a president? He's first Nigerian citizen before you now see him as president. He has right to hold opinion. You cannot take that away from him. Okay. You cannot remove the fact that he has right to support someone. This is right. But the one that is funny to me is him saying that he will not reveal the person so that they will not eliminate him.
Not kill him.
They will not kill him. How can that kind of statement come from the president?
And it shows a lot about our electoral system.
It is also a confirmation that the country is not safe. When you are saying that, people have been coming out to say they want to president. Has any one of them been killed? So if you are now saying that if you mention somebody, okay, normally attention will be on the person,
yes,
and in your country you cannot guarantee his security, that is likely to be killed. The president has come out to say that in this country, even my anointed person is not safe. It is an embarrassment.
An indictment.
Indictment. That coming from him is an indictment.
All right, let me take you to another aspect of the interview on the front page of the Punch, which is already generating, mixed reaction. PDP orders kick as Buhari dismisses state police, insists on grazing roots. The president.
Let me start from the issue of grazing roots.
Okay.
It is funny, or it is sad that since 2015, our major issue of discourse has been the issue of cattle. Other countries are discussing technology. We are concerned with cattle. I don't understand. And I don't understand the present obsession with cattle. Is it because he's a Fulani person? Because in Nigeria today, it is not only Fulani that are into cattle farming.
Yeah.
In my state, Ekiti, there are top people, traditional rulers that are into cattle farming.
Yeah.
So you cannot turn a country majorly to a cow republic. That is what it's looking like. And how can a president be talking about 1960 solution to a problem
Of the 21st century.
of 2022? Solution of 1950, 1940, cattle roots. How can you be talking about cattle roots? It's just like you are talking about the information dissemination in this your newspaper, and somebody is still talking about telegram. Somebody is still talking about use of fax machine for reporters to send stories to the headquarters. Somebody is telling us that you have to make telephone line better so that fax messages coming from fax machine will be clearer. What are we talking about? I've said this several times. Cattle farming is a private business. It is a business like what we are doing now.
It's causing crisis, causing problems. So government has a responsibility to move in.
Okay.
To ensure peace and order.
Okay. In Lagos, there are Igbo people in Ladipo selling spare parts. So if there is issues, if there is crisis between those Ladipo people and Igbo people and people living in resident of Ladipo, Lagos state government will now come and say, "Oh, we are going to build. We will take you to somewhere. We will now build shop for you free of charge." Where is that done? Where is that done? What Nigerian government should be talking about now is cattle ranching, not moving cattle from Sokoto. Somebody will tell me that it is the tradition of the Fulani, and I find it difficult to comprehend. If you are saying as a Fulani person, it is your tradition to follow cattle from Maiduguri to Lagos. I've asked myself, President Buhari is a Fulani man too. Why are his children not also following cattle from Katsina to Ibadan?
You have chosen the modern way of life.
You have chosen the modern way of life. You are enjoying your life, then you have restricted, you have confined other people, children of other people, to a life of living in the bush like animal. It is funny, and it is sad to me. Anybody who wants to rear cow, what you should be talking about is getting land, whether by rent or by purchase, outright purchase, building a ranch, which is like having a business premises. It's like you are doing fish farming, and you are saying that or somebody is doing a poultry farming, and you now say because I people in Nigeria, there is freedom of movement. You now unleash your birds on the street of Abuja. Your birds you are taking your birds from here or from this place to Wuse market to sell. You not put the birds on the road. It is impossible. If you are moving cattle from Sokoto to Ekiti, for instance, put them in a vehicle. If you need to sell your meat, if you need to sell live cattle in Ekiti, put your cattle in the vehicle and take the cattle from like Maiduguri or Bauchi to wherever. Not that you are now saying they should create one route where somebody will trek in the bush. It is to me, it is wickedness. It is wickedness.
All right.
Then you are talking about the issue of state police.
Yes.
Some people are saying, I don't know why people are calling state police. Because we already have state police.
Okay, how?
We already have state police. In the southwest, there are Samotekun. What are they doing? Are they not doing policing? In the southeast, you are talking about Bubeagu. In Kano, for instance, there is Isba. So what is Isba doing? They are arresting people for committing religious
but all these contraptions, whether Isba, Bubeagu, or Amotekun in the southwest, are unknown or alien to the constitution.
So how is Amotekun functioning? Are you saying that
by way of different laws of
it is law of the state?
Okay.
It is law of the state. You see, some of these things we don't need to make noise because it is not also the right of the president to grant state police. It's not his right. He's just the president. It's not the law.
Yeah, I think people are taking it to him is a misnomer.
For instance, sometime like in the 2015-16, I would say, my argument was constantly that EFCC does not have power to investigate state finances. So people were like, because I was in government, I was trying to protect Ayo Fayoshi. But what is the decision of Supreme Court in the case of one SCF? I can't remember one, so I can't remember his name now, like 2 weeks ago. Okay. That's the decision of Supreme Court, because it is the House of Assembly of the state that appropriate fund belonging to the state. Fund that you don't appropriate, you don't have power to investigate. So if there is anything to be done on spending of my money, it is my money. When you give me, because a lot of people don't also know. There is difference between federation account and federal government account.
And state government also.
So under federation account, you have federal government, state and local government. So it is from the federation account that these 3 tiers of government get their money from. So if you now give me my money, Federation of Nigeria is different from federal government. People don't know. Federal Republic of Nigeria is different from federal government of Nigeria.
I get your argument. What I'm saying is, given today's reality, that most of the states' House of Assembly are being pocketed by state governments.
The state House of Assembly in the Southwest, for instance, passed law establishing Amotekun. The law was duly signed by the governors, and Amotekun is operating. Except that you have a governor in the Southwest, like the governor of my state now. We have asked questions. What is your? If you go to Ondo State, you see Amotekun functioning properly. You see results of Amotekun in Ondo State. We are not seeing the same thing in Ekiti, maybe because of it. The moment you have somebody with political will to make things work, for instance, the one in Kano, Isba in Kano, it is their decision to say, okay, we are doing Islamic arrangement, and they are doing their own Islamic stuff there. If you don't want to live in Kano under their Islamic arrangement, you leave the place. It is their law. If you are in Kano, you obey that law. You obey that law. It is the law of Kano. For instance, somebody will tell us that the criminal law of Nigeria, does it permit federal government to prosecute criminal crime? Federal government does not prosecute all this crime of robbery and all that. It is state government. It is Attorney General of the state. When you commit crime in the state now, it is State Commissioner of Police versus that person. And when they take you to court, they will take your court papers to the Attorney General for legal advice. If the Attorney General come out to say that you have no case, that is the end of the matter. So that is the end of the matter. So, and why are people still talking about?
Okay, I think you raised silent issue about federation or federalism. I will ask you a pertinent question about that. Well, we need to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue the discussion. We'll be back shortly.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. It's still Inside Nigeria for this Thursday morning, January 6, 2022. And of course, I'm still in the studio with our guest analyst, Mr. Larry Olayinka, a public affairs analyst. Well, Mr. Olayinka, before we went on break, I said you raised salient issues about federalism. Now let's go to an example that just happened in Lagos 2 days ago, when the governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was saying, having an altercation with the police, chief superintendent of police, who was actually the head of the people deployed to Magodo Phase 2 estate. Now, I read some of your comments saying the governor was not properly guided before embarking on such a trip. Now, I want to say, do you think the governor was wrong actually? Because he said he called the Attorney General and the Inspector General of Police before going there, and they told him they were not aware of that police siege. Hence, as the Chief Security Officer of Lagos, he was duty bound to move in to restore law and order.
If you call Attorney General of Federation, number one, you don't even need to call Attorney General of Federation. Okay? What is the business of Attorney General? You call the IG. This is happening in my state.
Your men are here.
Your men are here. If the IG says I did not send them, and you call the Commissioner of Police to go and take them out. You tell the Commissioner of Police, if I were the governor of Lagos State, I will go there to that place with the CP. It is the CP that, you don't expect a CSP to take directive order from the government. I won't.
But the cliche or phrase that governors are chief security officer,
even when you are chief security officer, there is line of command.
Okay.
There's a command structure.
Which cannot be broken.
You cannot break it. It's a command structure. It is from the CP, from the IG to DIG, DIG to AIG, AIG to CP, CP to maybe area commander to, you cannot, that CS is a CSP, Chief Superintendent of Police. As far as the governor is concerned, he's a junior officer. So the person that should be telling that CSP to leave that place should have been the Commissioner of Police. And that's why I said the CSP was right to say that. How do you expect? It's just like a reporter now. A reporter from your station went to somewhere to cover an event, and maybe another editor saw him there and told him that, and tell him that no, you cannot be here. Go back to your office. Do you think that reporter will oblige that editor? Because if you are the Oga, you should also call my Oga and tell my Oga that, there's one of your boy here.
Tell him to leave.
Tell him to leave. So what the governor ought to have done was to have visited that Magodo with the Commissioner of Police of Lagos State. The Commissioner of Police ought to have been with him. The governor ought to have been, because before any police officer will operate in a state, if you are going to say Nasarawa now to arrest somebody from Abuja, the first place you go is the police headquarters. From police headquarters, you now go to the area command of where you want to operate from. From the area command, you go to the divisional office. So you have to now, the governor ought to be asking the CP, did they inform you before coming to this place? If they did not inform you, Mr. CP, please ask them to leave. See, if the CP now say, I cannot ask them to leave, it was the IG that sent them, it will be clearer. It will not be saying to the world, to the public, that the governor, the order of the governor as because there's constitutional provision. I can't remember the particular section that also it was specified in the constitution that the governor can give this Commissioner of Police in the state lawful order, and the Commissioner of Police must obey.
So he jumped the Commissioner of Police. Lastly, Mr. Olayinka, let me ask you about the prosecution of banditry in Nigeria, and of course, tagging bandits as terrorists, as reported by Nigerian Tribune this morning. What is your take? Is this coming too late, or it's okay, it's the right step in the right direction, and it will help us to win the war against
whether you call them terrorists, whether you officially pronounce them terrorists or not, they are terrorists.
Because they're terrorizing
They are
people.
terrorizing people. It's just that we have a government with a different mindset from the mindset of Nigeria. They have people that they have some kind of insect that they treat with deodorant. They have some kind of insect that they treat with insecticides. The time that I've said this and I'll say this again, the time this government wasted chasing Sunday Igboho, chasing Nnamdi Kanu, they should have devoted that time to confronting those bandits that is making life unbearable for the people of even Katsina, the home state of the president. So, well, they have declared them bandits, the terrorists or whatever. At least that will give them that would now give the government right to use some level of weapon against them. Because if they are not terrorists on paper, you will not be able to use certain weapon to be seen as whatever. So they have done that. It is not just declare them terrorists. Boko Haram was declared terrorists. What happened there?
We are still battling with them.
It is about government taking the war to wherever they are and wiping them out completely. They are this one that, especially in this country, we saw governors going to where they were to build. It means that government knows where they are. Government knows where they are operating from. Those in government are meeting with those terrorists now, bandit terrorists. Those in government are meeting with them. So it's now that they have been declared terrorists, they should just go to where they are and wipe them out. They're making noise about dissecting their whatever. It's immaterial to an average person on the street of Katsina. What people want to hear is that their life is now safe. It's not declaring terrorists. It's about action. And well, let me not be a pessimist.
Okay.
But I doubt if this government will take decisive action.
So nothing in the name, tagging them terrorists won't amount to anything, you know. But according to the Attorney General of the Federation, he said by doing this, they will now have the leeway to actually deploy Tucano fighter
That
jets
is
against
what
them.
I'm saying. Tucano fighter jet came. Have they been able to use it to defeat, to exterminate
Boko
Boko
Haram.
Haram, ISWAP? They have not. They have not. So, who also says that they will be able to use same weapon against bandits? The issue is that I remember in 2015 when the presidential election was postponed, that after the Council of State meeting, where it was decided that the election should be postponed till March. President Buhari came out then, he was angry.
Yeah.
In Afghanistan, they had election, in Iran, they had election, and this. Somebody is now saying because of Boko Haram, they cannot hold election. He said, what is Boko Haram? That was his action. He just said,
Election postponement also happened under him.
He just said, what is Boko Haram? That was what he said in 2015.
While out of office.
This is 2022. This is close to 7 years that he made that statement. He is in government. He has every power, everything, every resources to have destroyed, to have decimated Boko Haram. He has not been able to do so. I doubt if he will be able to do it because there's no political will
to fight the war.
There's no political will. They are more like, okay. Look at the effort on Sunday Igboho. Look at the effort. For instance, look at the concentration on Sunday Igboho. Look at what the president is saying about elders terrorizing farmers. Because people should stop calling it farmer-elder clash. Farmers are not the one fighting elders. Elders are the ones fighting farmers. It's not farmer-elders clash. It's elders terrorizing farmers. What have they been able to do to contain them? The only solution the president will tell you is that they want to do Ruga They want to do cattle grazing. They want to do cattle route. They want to do everything. So it's like some people are saying these people they are people. We should not touch them.
Too bad for us. Many thanks to you, Larry Olayinka, and Abuja-based public affairs analyst for joining us this morning inside Nigeria. We hope to see more of you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Sunday, Larry Olayinka has been with us from the afternoon to this moment. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, our Lagos correspondent Samuel Abulude will be joining me to tell us about an interesting story of January of death and resurrection, where some persons are said to have died and also resurrected. We'll be back shortly.
Why will a medical doctor work for 9 months, 16 months, 19 months without getting paid?
But you see how much kidnappers are picking for victims and police.
Government will always say the nice place. Get that, and I think we get that. The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
But the support that is needed, and once you get the support, your airline people will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Well, welcome back. We're still inside Nigeria for this Thursday morning, January 6, 2022. Well, yesterday in Lagos, interesting stories emanated where Honorable Adeton Mutiat Adedin, a former Deputy Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, was said to have resurrected hours after she was announced dead. But then she was said to have died again and was buried hours later. And again, a story of a Nollywood actor, Kudirat Odukami, popularly called Iyabo Oko, who was also reported dead yesterday. This morning, report also came that she has resurrected. We don't know how true this story, but let me talk to our correspondent in Lagos, one of our correspondents in Lagos, Samuel Abulude. Samuel, good morning. All right, Samuel is not with us. Well, I don't know how true is the story, but let's watch a short video about the incident around Honorable Adeton Mutiat Adenina, a former Deputy Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly.
Story that a certain individual, which is Honorable Adeton Adedinro, woke up while he was just about to be buried, because there was a drama at Ebony Vaults, a funeral home in the area of Lagos State. We had a former Deputy Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Adeton Adedinro, who was reported dead, was to be buried. Adedinro was a former woman leader of All Progressive Congress in Lagos State, and he breathed alas on Wednesday after a brief illness. In an unexpected twist of events, the deceased reportedly woke up from the dead moment before burial at the resting ground, which was slated for 2 p.m. According to the viral video, which you'll be seeing here, obtained online, there was a wide jubilation following a supposed resurrection. A shout of joy rented the air. You could see all this mama shout saying, "Oluwaṣe, thank you God, thank you God." The excitement, however, didn't last for long after the resurrection. Adediro died again to the shock of the already ecstatic family members and well-wishers. It was later gathered that her remains have since been buried today, according to Islamic rites, from another video that you are seeing here. This is sad. What can we say? This is life. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant her al-Jannah for the doubts and grant her eternal rest and give the family the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss. Okay, there was this story that a certain individual, which is Honorable Adetun Adedinro, woke up while he was just about to be buried because there was a drama at Ebony Vault, a funeral home in Ikoyi area of Lagos State. We are the former Deputy Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Adetun Adedinro, who was reported dead, was to be buried. Adedinro was a former woman leader of All Progressive Congress in Lagos State and breathed alas on Wednesday after a brief illness. In an unexpected twist of events, the deceased reportedly woke up from the dead moment before burial at the resting ground, which was slated for 2 p.m. According to the viral video, which you'll be seeing here, obtained online, there was a wide jubilation following a supposed resurrection. A shout of joy rented the air. You could see all this mama shout saying, "Oluwaṣe, thank you God, thank you God." The excitement, however, didn't last for long after the resurrection. Adediro died again to the shock of the already ecstatic family members and well-wishers. It was later gathered that her remains have since been buried today, according to Islamic rites, from another video that you are seeing here. This is sad. What can we say? This is life. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant her al-Jannah for the doubts and grant her eternal rest and give the family the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss.
Well, I'll go on a short break. When I come back, I'll be joined by Dr. Kabir Adamu, a security expert, to delve into the prosecution of banditry in Nigeria by the federal government. I'll be back shortly.
Why will a medical doctor work for 9 months, 16 months, 19 months without getting paid?
But you see how much kidnappers are picking from victims and police.
The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So the support that is needed. And once again, the support your energy people will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. Well, as I said earlier, I'm being joined by Dr. Kabiru Adamu. He's an enterprise security risk management and intelligence specialist. We'll be talking about the federal government prosecution of banditry in Nigeria and as well as tagging them as terrorists. Good morning, Dr. Adamu.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Well done.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, and same to you. Hope the year started on a good note for you.
We thank God. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right, Dr. Adamu, you are now aware that the federal government has proscribed banditry in Nigeria and as well as tagging bandits as terrorists. So I want to ask you, as a security expert, is this belated or is it coming at the wrong time or the right time?
Well, it is a requirement of the Terrorism Prevention Act that was passed in 2011 and then amended in 2013. That act provides or requires that that only the courts have the constitutional right, as it were, to declare any group or any individual as terroristic. So in this instance, the court have declared at least two groups, what is called Mbindiga and Yang Tada, as terroristic, and it has also added that any group that is doing similar activities like these two groups is terroristic. So that's number one. It is in fulfillment of that requirement. We've seen instances in the past where even the military attempted to declare a group as terroristic, and we challenged that attempt by the military to say, no, that is not what the law says. The law says it's only a competent court of jurisdiction. And as someone who studies terrorism, I know how significant it is that we comply with our existing laws when it comes to terrorism, especially in an era where there is a lot of politicking and the politicization of security. So that's the number one thing, this fulfillment of the requirement. The second thing is we have a National Counterterrorism Strategy 2016, which provides for how the country should deal with terrorist groups. So we're hoping that now that officially these groups are terroristic, that what the government will do is to now use that National Counterterrorism Strategy to deal with these groups. Maybe in the course of our conversation, we can talk about the contents of this National Counterterrorism Strategy and what we hope to see going forward in terms of government action based on this proscription of these groups, these bandit groups, by a competent court of jurisdiction.
So now, what impact is this going to have on our fight against banditry? Because I had a guest earlier this morning who said, well, it won't make any difference because Boko Haram were attacked terrorists and up to today we are still battling with them. So what difference will this make?
Like I said, there is the National Counterterrorism Strategy, and that National Counterterrorism Strategy provides for how we deal with terrorist groups in the country. I think it will make a lot of differences, but the implementation is where the details are in. How we implement the aspects of the National Counterterrorism Strategy vis-a-vis this proscription of the group is what matters. So that National Counterterrorism Strategy has 5 elements within it. The number one element is to forestall the activities of the group. In other words, bring it to an end through whatever means. It could mean law enforcement, it could mean policy issues, it could mean so many things, but to forestall it, the interpretation of that would be subject to the dynamics and the operations of the group. It could mean deploying the Super Tucano as an example, and I'm very happy to note that the federal government says that it has obtained the consent of the supplier of that Super Tucano for usage to forestall the activities of this group. Number 2 is to identify the group itself. Who is it? Who are its members? Who are those supporting it? And then under what circumstances the group operate. Number 3 is to block its finances. How does it generate financing? How does it generate membership to stop that? How do we bring in our foreign partners? In this instance, those groups are operating around Niger and to an extent Chad and Cameroon. How do we bring in Niger, Chad, and Cameroon into supporting us in the implementation of this counter-terrorism strategy that will bring these groups to an end? So I'm hoping to see a lot, but the determine we implement all of this, and of course the will and desire by the operators in the industry. Currently, our national counterterrorism strategy, despite the fact that we have a commander counterterrorism that is domiciled in the office of the National Security Advisor, we rarely hear him working, but it is the military that is almost to, let's say, 70 to 80% that is implementing the national counterterrorism strategy. So will the military also take up this responsibility to bring the activities of this to an end? Or are we going to see what the national counterterrorism strategy says? Say it's a whole of government approach that would include both the hard and the soft approach. So a lot really will determine on the level of implementation and how government have the will to approach the implementation of this national counterterrorism strategy vis-a-vis the proscription of this group.
All right. Finally, let me ask you, Dr. Adamu, talking about the national counterterrorism strategy. Now, as an expert, do you think that strategy is a perfect one to win this war, or there is something amiss?
So I'm of the view that, frankly, we should review that strategy. Like I said, it was introduced first in 2014, then reviewed in 2016, and 5 years down the road, I think it's a time that we review it. I also mentioned one key flaw in the course of my submission, where I said, even though there is a commander counterterrorism strategy that is in the office of the National Security Advisor, you rarely hear him working. What you hear more often than not is the activities of the military with regards to the implementation of the counterterrorism strategy. So I believe that counterterrorism is a whole of government approach. Not too long ago, a report was released by GIADA, which is the West African, the ECOWAS body that has mandate over money laundering and then the countering of the funding of terrorism activities. And then also not too long ago, the Attorney General of the Federation told us that he has applied, or Nigeria has applied to join this Financial Action Task Force on countering terrorism. So a lot is going on in terms of our approach to countering terrorism. It's not just this military approach, and the entire counterterrorism strategy identifies these rules. Blocking the funding of terrorists, blocking their ability to generate or recruit new members, blocking their ability to form partnership with international terrorist groups across the world. It's not something that the military can do alone. So again, I think it's high time we do a review of the implementation of the counterterrorism strategy so that we see where there are lapses in its implementation and try to understand why the military has kind of taken over the responsibilities of almost all the other agencies that are involved within the counterterrorism strategy. I believe that every ministry, department, and agency of government should have its own role to play. If you look at Ministry of Information or even the National Orientation Agency, they have a key role to play. The de-radicalization and counter-radicalization component can be commandeered by these two agencies of government, but currently we see the military playing that role. So there is a lot that can be improved upon in terms of the implementation of the national counterterrorism strategy. But as a strategy, in terms of its content and its outlook, I believe that if we implement it, even if it's just 70 or 80%, I believe that it will help us and it will go a long way towards reducing or containing the terrorist challenge that we have in the country.
Well, I hope those concerned will actually listen to this free advice and improve on the national counterterrorism strategies. Many thanks to you, Dr. Kabiru Adamu, Enterprise Security Risk Management and Intelligence Specialist, for joining us this morning on Inside Nigeria.
Thank you for having me. Stay safe.
All right, we hope to see more of you whenever the need arises.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Kabiru Adamu. On this note, we come to the end of Inside Nigeria for this morning. Make this with us tomorrow, Friday, for the last edition for the week. We are Winifred Obebo. We'll be here to anchor the show. My name is Membody Badibo. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.